I am Sophia, a 32-year-old woman living in a small, close-knit town where everyone knows each other. My life had always followed a predictable path. I had a steady job as a graphic designer, an adorable dog named Max, and a beautiful home that my husband and I had worked hard to create together. Everything seemed perfect on the surface, and I was proud of the life I had built. I had a few close friends, but my best friend, Emily, had been my rock for years. She was the person I confided in when things got tough, and I figured she had my back as much as I had hers. However, my world was about to spin out of control in the most devastating way. One evening, I returned home early after picking up a surprise gift for my husband's birthday. I was excited to celebrate with him, but as I entered the living room, I found him tangled in a passionate embrace with none other than Emily. In that moment, my heart shattered like glass as I felt reality crash around me. Instead of reacting with anger or despair, a chilling calmness flooded over me. I turned around quietly and left, not wanting to give either of them the satisfaction of seeing my pain. That night, the betrayal sliced deeper than any knife, leaving me feeling raw and vulnerable, but also igniting a fire of determination within me that I had never felt before. The following days were suffocating as I grappled with feelings of anger and worthlessness. My marriage had been a lie, and the trust I had placed in my best friend crumbled like dust. I could have wallowed in sorrow, but instead, I decided to rise. I wanted to rebuild myself, and I began to envision a new life beyond this betrayal. I started working out, channeling my frustration into strength training, and I transformed my guilt and insecurity into a burning desire to thrive. I picked up new hobbies, took up painting, and even joined a local book club. The more I focused on myself, the more I felt empowered. But I secretly knew that I had to confront them to fully regain control of my life. I planned my revenge meticulously, like an artist preparing for a grand masterpiece. It had to be clever, surprising, and above all, satisfying. I noticed that my husband and Emily often met at a small cafe in town. They thought they were being discreet, but I had been watching them from afar, taking notes, and using the information to plot my comeback. I began to leak intriguing stories about myself to our mutual friends, suggesting I was moving to a big city to pursue an amazing opportunity. I wanted them to believe my past was behind me and that I was starting anew. As I transformed into a social butterfly, attending events and smiling, I learned that my husband and Emily were becoming anxious. They could sense that I was moving on, and their guilt was heavy upon them. I attended a party they were both invited to, and I wore a stunning red dress that commanded attention, knowing that I stood out. I saw the shock on their faces when I walked into the room, confidently greeting our friends like a new version of myself and engaging in lively conversations. The time I waited for finally arrived, and I decided to drop the bombshell of my newfound success on them. I sent out invitations for an art exhibition featuring my paintings that I had created over the past months. The twist was that it would take place at the cafe where they would often meet. I wanted Emily and my husband to see the vibrant new life I built for myself. As the day of the exhibition approached, excitement mixed with nervous tension filled me. On the evening of the exhibition, the cafe was beautifully decorated with my artwork. The walls displayed bold and colorful paintings that represented my journey of rising from the ashes. Friends arrived in flocks, commenting on how lovely and talented I had become. I kept glancing at the door, waiting for my husband and Emily to arrive. When they finally did, they were greeted with shock and disbelief at the spectacle before them. I watched them standing frozen, visibly uncomfortable, while I reveled in the attention. After an hour or two of mingling, I decided to make my move. I took the stage and raised a glass to toast my friends, but then I turned my gaze to them directly. I spoke about betrayal, trust, and the importance of self-love. My voice trembled slightly, but I made sure to keep my composure as I detailed my journey of rebuilding myself from the wreckage they had caused. I could see the expressions on their faces morph from curiosity to horror as the realization of what I had done hit them. In that moment, I felt an exhilarating sense of closure wash over me. I was not the broken woman they had assumed I would become. Instead, I emerged even stronger, standing before them, radiating confidence and grace. The reactions from guests were mixed. Some were sympathetic to me, while others began to distance themselves from my ex-husband and Emily, realizing how they had wronged me. As the night went on, I enjoyed saying goodbye to what I once had, knowing I had gained so much more. After the exhibition, my life began to flourish in ways I had never anticipated. I received offers for more exhibitions, and I focused on painting as a full-time passion. My business grew, and I realized that my heart had expanded to allow room for new friendships that were genuine and supportive. Emily and my husband did leave town, hounded by the shame of their betrayal. I became a woman transformed, dancing into the unknown filled with hope and courage. One night soon after, I received a message from a mutual friend letting me know that they had moved far away, leaving behind the echoes of their mistakes. I couldn't help but smile. I had taken what they had done to me and turned it into something beautiful, proving that sometimes the most profound revenge is simply to thrive, leaving behind those who could not appreciate my worth.